They've been down for about 45 minutes. Hello. And I really need to get a white noise machine. That was a great note. I seriously have one. I have one right here. It's freaking busted. Action items. Fix white noise machine. That my stupid, not stupid, that my rambunctious preschoolers, who I don't appreciate nearly enough, destroyed in their exuberant exploration of this human timeline. See, I can do better. I can do better. I don't. My partner and I talk a lot about, in fact, we're just talking a lot about this morning, how our hatred of our children, the universal our, drives the system. It's like, I don't know how often people stop and think about how rich people don't hate their kids, but poor people do. Hello.
Hello.
I'm talking to a live.
We're alive.
I was just talking about rich people hating their kids. Or rich people don't hate their kids. That's the thing. Poor people hate their kids.
They try to get you to hate your kid.
Right. It makes the system go round. Rich people don't hate their kids because rich people can afford them. Therefore, their kids are an entitlement and a treasure. And poor people are supposed to hate their kids. We're supposed to make our entire personality escaping from our kids and our wives. And I try not to fall into that pattern. I'm not perfect, but when I'm talking about my toddlers wrecking my white noise machine, so again, partner, if you happen to see a disembodied cord that belongs to that white noise maker, that would be sweet. Because then I can just stand here and clean the kitchen and cook food and have white noise going. And I can call it chill sesh. I can call it lax vibes. Just come vibe flow chill ish things. That's what we do.
Today is Harem or Purim. Did you know?
Purim?
Purim? No, Purim. I just googled it.
Yeah, it's pronounced Purim.
Purim.
Pretty sure.
Happy Purim.
Did we look at the full moon last night? Forgot to do that, huh?
It's tonight.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's tonight and tomorrow night. They don't just last a night.
I did go look for it last night. It was not out.
Will you rinse stuff off?
And it was not from the cloud cover.
Do we want to go? I hate
The
it.
night before that, it was so awesome.
I hate it. I'm like, I've got 2 twins napping and a partner off from work. So I hate being like mercenary and practical and schedule-y. But now I'm standing here like, should we go do that thing that we do when toddlers are asleep or not around because we have the time to do it? I don't know. How are you feeling about that possibility?
Up to you.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad we're both so enthusiastic about it. I'm glad we're both super into it. That's exciting. Man, I don't know how this is going to turn out. This food that I just have been standing here making, it might be trash. It might be trash. It's not typically trash, right?
No, it's never trash. Like, never. Not one time has been trash.
Gotta come up with a more graceful way to
Keep your body Towards the camera.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Look at these
I need to work on my blocking.
wrinkles. Yeah, you do.
You know, I'm getting there.
Excuse me.
That's why I go live all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your lives are great.
Practice, conditioning. They're not all great. Some of them are. I do okay in a live space from time to time. Now, sadly, there's not enough water in the filter. Hello, whoever just wandered in. Y'all, you gotta help me out. Act like this is TikTok. I'm used to people running their mouths in the comment section constantly. I need that. I feed off that energy. Comment, please, chat. The whole fun of the live is that I can interact. Like, if you want to watch my not interactive, come. Hey. How's it going? I'm so frustrated. You missed my rant. Somebody gave me the expert wisdom yesterday of run white noise machine in the background. And I have one, but it's busted. Because my damn preschoolers busted it. I'm sad. I was like, yes, I got a white noise machine. I can do that. That's a trick, I guess. So I can just putter around the kitchen, right? But yeah, Meta, I don't know. I'm trying not to be, I'm trying to mind confirmation bias. I'm trying not to just run full act, Nick and misinformation, but it's getting kind of egregious, I feel like. It's not confirmation bias, right? It's not confirmation bias. I feel like I'm experiencing this new reality where, like, we could all safely just not listen to the people on the ground and go with what is being said in the mainstream, like Nick is doing, because that's what Nick is doing. Man, I'm not surprised. I want to tell you that I'm surprised. I have learned something on this app, man. You on TikTok specifically. Like, you've seen me saying live for weeks now. Like, watch out for people's classism. Watch out for people's classism. And that seems reductive. People talk about, and I hate this. This is, you don't hear this often because of how just friggin' stupid it is. But, class reductionism. It's not a great red flag because most people are smart enough not to say it. But I've seen some people on the left, some really theory-educated dudes on TikTok talk about class reductionism. Man, you cannot be too skeptical of somebody's classism. You just can't. Why? Because they have an arbitrary value in their mind for sorting who counts as people and who doesn't count as people. And that is a wild card that you can never get around, that when the chips are down. Exactly. And who's talking about that? Like, watching Luke for how he could take advantage of Luke, manipulating Luke, it seems to me, pretty baldly. And Luke is not chasing after people as large creators. Luke is just trying to get people to... What in the fuck is that? Oh my God, Adam. So I'll break it down. Meta was there. I wasn't there. But Nick is letting his whole gross thing fly. He basically, and Meta can tell you if I get this wrong, but I'm not gonna, that he was backhandedly making fun of Trump voters in East Palestine, how they still believe that there's vinyl chloride there, even though there's not vinyl chloride there. He was on his backup account. with laughter and light, and I did not catch the other person. That really makes me sad, guys. Laughter and light, I'm sorry. I wanted to believe better, but laughter and light has always thrown hard Karen vibes to me. People really don't like. You gotta deconstruct. You gotta deconstruct. You gotta deconstruct. And there are people that feel like I saw someone in a comment on your video, Meta, someone talking about using your Karen. And I'm sorry, we really got to dig into what a Karen is, because no, you should not use that Karen. You should choke that chick out. You should eradicate that impulse. You should not get this, I'm going to use my Karen for good. A Karen is not for good. And you can tell people, because why? Because Karen is based in purity. Karen is based in classism. So when you see people that are using their Karen for good, like laughter and light, they are people that they don't educate themselves to the point where they don't have to Karen anymore. They educate themselves to the point where they're entitled to Karen. And there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. And that's why I say it's like you have to deconstruct everything. You can't just talk about one. Not everybody, but if you're going to try to be the voice of these things, if you're going to try to represent yourself as any kind of thorn in the side of the ruling class, you have really got to do your deconstruction. And it was plain to me a long time ago, not to beat a dead horse, that Herr Nicholas has not done that deconstruction, and now sadly we see that laughter and light is not either. Because why? You know who does not take the piss out of Trump voters? Doctors. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know who like, honest to God.
Seriously.
You know who doesn't take the piss out of Trump voters? People that are dragging Trump voters out of a burning building. They don't stop to check. You know what I mean? Because there are people whose professional existence and ethics exist above the reductionism of blue and red. And you can, if you know what you're looking for, you deconstruct for two reasons. You deconstruct principally not to be... Yeah. And that's, he was on a backup account. Adam, Meta's theory is that he was on a backup account because he doesn't want people to be seeing him show his ass in that way. I mean, I get it, because you can't get that live. You know what I mean? Why do you guys think I go live so often? I mean, a lot of it is to get around. Lives are harder to clap back at. They just are. And most people don't have the bandwidth or the presence of mind to sit around just recording somebody's live just in case they say something that everybody needs to pay attention to. I mean, I don't do that. I can't expect other people to do it. But I mean, it was obvious if you were paying attention, if you have done your own work. Right. And the thing is, not even his friends, Meta, remember that. Not his friends. Those people are not people that would be friends with him IRL. They are friends with him because of where he has found himself situated, because he has been heated. Why has he been heated? I'll tell you, it's not because he's saying things that are ultimately dangerous to Norfolk Southern. Not how that works. So, and what's going on? What haven't they deconstructed? And again, the main reason it's important to do your own work of deconstructing your privilege and your internalized misogyny and your internalized white supremacy, the main reason to do those things is so that you are not inadvertently pointing that poison at the world anymore, to be really clear. The main reason to do it is not for its strategic value. Nevertheless, it has amazing strategic value. I appreciate that. I'm upset I got banned too. Tell them to follow me on YouTube. You better believe I'm not fucking around about building this YouTube platform. But why I encourage people to deconstruct, why I do all of this is selfish, guys. You can believe that my motivations are selfish, and I can give you selfish reasons to deconstruct your patriarchy and your privilege and your internalized white supremacy, because the more you do it, the more you will catch people in their duplicitousness long before they do it. So, you know what I mean? You will get to the point where somebody that is you will get to the point where somebody that is going to be shady with you, you will see it long before they get the chance to you. It will be like it will be like when one of your kids oh God, that is like I put oh jeez Christ, I put the lid on top of the Instapot and it fluved, and it is like, you don't even know what I put in there. I mean, obviously you don't know because I haven't told you. But seriously, once you see, like I've talked about this in lives on TikTok, once you know to watch for people's transphobia and ableism and classism, those are the easy ones, because those are the ones people are not as careful about letting slip. You're not as likely to catch somebody letting their racism fly. You're not as likely to catch somebody letting their homophobia fly. Those things are becoming more culture and not counterculture. Trans rights, unfortunately, is still too fringe, as are disability rights. Speaking of which, R.I.P. Judy Heumann. That's very sad. I found out yesterday that Judy Heumann died, if anybody did not know that. People don't. Oh, God. Yes. Those are the easy ones. And once you spot them, you can know how a person is going to behave. You know, you can't. People will behave the way that their privilege lets them behave. People will get away with what they can get away with. That's the way that the system works. And what is happening with like that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. And when you realize that deconstruction, the process of deconstruction is you taking on the responsibility of not exploiting your privilege systemically anymore. You are deciding that you are going to set aside some of the entitlements of the system of being white or male or having money or education or whatever. And when you see, oh my God, I am sorry. It's cranberries and jalapeno. It has gotten loud over here. Let me, so what you're seeing when you see these places where people have not deconstructed, they're telling you, I haven't done any work to set aside any of these systemic entitlements. Well, then you know how they're going to behave in other ways, because all you have to do is ask yourself the question, what can they get away with? And when you know what they can get away with, you know that they're going to. And you just have to watch for them to. What did I say? I told you how Nick Drum was going to act. Just wait. He's going to say the thing about Aaron Brockovich. He's going to come down not on the side of Aaron Brockovich, because Aaron Brockovich blows up his entire platform. Her team, the experts on the ground, disagree with him diametrically, like binary, night and day. They say one thing, he says a completely different thing. I'm not hiding anything cool. It's fucking diet root beer. I mean, cool. We're all adults. who literally would think it was cool if I was taking sips of, I don't know, Canadian Club or some shit off camera, but it's not. Just trying to clear my throat. So anyway, all of that is my rambly way of getting around to, unfortunately, the thing that I've said, and you can see this over and over, the thing that almost nobody, the people that you trust the most, unfortunately, the thing that almost nobody deconstructs is platform size. Nobody deals with the privileges that are granted by the size of a platform. So what you're seeing with Nick are these people that will give him the time of day because he has the size platform that he has, when in reality, I doubt he could get, based on what I know of Laughter and Light's particulars, I doubt that he could get Laughter and Light to sit down to lunch with him in real life if it were not for the size of his platform, which has just exploded. Does that make sense? If they were just random people in LA, what I know of Laughter and Light's qualifications versus what I know of Nick Drum's qualifications, I don't know that they would be running in the same circles, outside of the fact that it's pretty apparent to me that Nick Drum comes from a family of a little bit of privilege. So, that is, I'm sorry to tell you, you got to remember to keep your eyes peeled on creators with large platforms, and especially be wary of creators with large platforms whose platforms exploded in a very short period of time, which again, I have learned to keep mine from doing. I went up 20 friggin' percent on my main and was like, oops, nope, I don't want to, that's headed nowhere good. So anyway, do I think that he's, did he? Yeah, of course, because he's got to. This is what he's got, right? This is what he's got. So I'm writing a kid's book. I have written other books before, but they've all been under my real name, and I've got a few. And so I have a book that I'm working on right now, a middle grade story that I'm doing, and my partner is editing. Really, we're working on it together. I don't know why I'm saying that way. We're writing something together, and one of the characters, their motivation is that and this is based on a town that I lived in, where somebody had a really good idea, and because they were somebody that was really engaged and involved at all of the city council meetings, they had this great idea, and their voice ended up going farther than they expected it to go, and they ended up spearheading a project where a big thing was built in town that was meant to drive lots of traffic and, economy, and they ended up becoming mayor. This is a real thing. I wrote this into a story, so I don't know why I told you the story part. I should have just told you the real thing. This happened in a suburb on the edge of Columbus. Somebody had this bright idea that they were going to build they were going to take some property next to a creek where there already was a public park. They were going to expand the public park, and they were going to put a upper crust shopping and dining experience next to the creek. And that combination of municipal space and, high quality 5-star space, that was really supposed to drive business in the town. And it was a very small group of people who were in the right place at the right time, and that idea seemed very flashy, and they got it through. They made this place. They did all of this development, and they put this place there, and somebody even got elected mayor over this, okay? So to me, Nick Drum reminds me of the mayor in this situation, because what ended up happening was that place is a dud. That city continues to try to reconcile, because I don't know that people know. You probably know Easton Meta. If you live in Ohio, I imagine you might have some intersection with Easton, but Easton is one of the biggest, most lavish malls in the country. And some genius was like, we're going to make a mini Easton 3 miles and 7 minutes down the road from the real Easton. And it turned out that and they thought they were going to get some kind of cross pollination, and they didn't. And it was a flop. And the town ended up bankrupt. Like the town ended up in arrears. And this person who rose to fame, who rose to political office on the back of this idea, right? And it, ended up suddenly in a spot where everything that they were and all of their profile was based around this idea that suddenly wasn't a very good idea. And so what happens in that case, where is Nick in this? Nick is like that mayor, because Nick, everything depends on Nick knowing what Nick is talking about. Everything, his whole platform is built entirely on him just being first, his whole platform. So it's like I went up 20%, Nick's platform grew almost 5 times. Almost over 80% Nick's platform grew. So all of those people are in there just because of what he was saying. He was 80,000 and now he's at 300,000, I think. So 220,000 followers he went up across the space of a couple weeks. And all of it is dependent on him knowing what he's talking about, because all of it is dependent on his opinion and his analysis, right? So of course you can predict what he's going to do. You can see what he's going to do. You don't have to wait for him to do it. As experts come forward, as more people get engaged on, you see this with leftist creators, he will go more right. He will go more mainstream. He will go more spin and division, because his only choices are acknowledge that he's wrong. And that takes a massive, massive adult processing of your ego to be able to do that in front of 300,000 people, or double down and say, well, I had these reasons for believing these things, and these other creators agree with me, and I'm forgetting that the reason these other creators agree with me is because we're all circle jerking each other, because we're all large creators and we all think we know what we're talking about. So now we have people that have spent their entire careers on the ground telling people what is going on in East Palestine, and how are people like me, how are little creators like you and I and Zombie Tesla, how are we being right while Nick Drum is being wrong? And how do we not find ourselves in the position of having to tease out, Aaron Brockovich fear-mongering, Aaron Brockovich this and that, because all we're doing is listening to people on the ground, because none of what I'm saying, the only opinion, the only place you find analysis in what I'm saying is what I think ought to be done with the information, which I think is just a matter of ethics, right? I'm not telling you what I know about vinyl chloride. I'm not telling you what I know about dioxins. I'm not telling you what I know about this situation in East Palestine. I'm telling you, based on what other people are saying in East Palestine, my only opinion and analysis is get the people of East Palestine out immediately on Norfolk Southern dime. So I am not in any kind of tricky rhetorical position. If it turns out that everything that I'm saying is wrong, I will still just point to Aaron Brockovich and Bob Bocock and this guy from Purdue that is now, Texas A&M, all of these parallel experts, whereas Nick doesn't have that to fall back on. As Nick finds himself contradicted, Nick has to decide, am I going to make the integrity choice and be like, you know what, guys, here's some, even if he didn't say I was wrong, he should at least highlight, listen, here's some people who have done this longer than I have done this, and here's what they say, so I just want to let you know there's this other stuff out there, and he has not even done that. Do I think it will cost him his platform? Sadly not. I don't think we have a way to do that. I honestly hate having to talk about it. Like, I feel like it just is dominating what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, I am on the platforms that I'm on, and I just still keep running into this mystifying
wall of misinformation that public perception and the mainstream media have literally no idea what is going on in East Palestine. And part of giving them responsible information is saying, hey guys, the reason you are not connected to information and you are instead being inundated with misinformation is because there are clout chasers with their own, capitalist entrepreneurial stakes in this. So I would love to stop talking about it, but as long as he's going to keep going in lives and the thing is, he's talking about me, right? And that's funny. Like, he talked about Luke. I can't wait till he talks about me. It's not going to be long. I made another take about him. Let me know don't let me know. I don't want to know. If he says my name in live, I don't want to know. He's talked in my comment sections. I have the capacity to talk to him if I want to talk to him. I don't think there's any good reason to talk to him. I'm not his fucking dad. I think what he's doing is trash, and I'm comfortable telling people you're getting bad information just like I would tell them if they were watching Fox News, right? But anyway, so yeah, there he is, doing what we knew that he would do, doing what I predicted a month ago he would do. I really wish I had just made takes. Had just made takes, because I get to just keep telling people, actually, no. I think I have a video that says what's going to happen now is we're going to start being discredited and we're going to start being used to carry water for the bad guys. I'm going to have to go back.
I love you.
I love you too. What are you doing? Can you not say? Okay. All right. Yeah, Meta, and that's exactly it. And it's the ethics of it is what gets you, right? And here's what I keep telling people. My ethics are selfish. The point of this is not that I care more about the people of East Palestine than Nick does. I'm sure that I do, because he has exposed himself as caring about the people of East Palestine very little, if at all. But my stake in this is not how much I care about the people of East Palestine. My stake in this is how much I care about myself, how much I care about my kids, how much I care about the place that we have to live. And I just happen to have significantly more education than Nick Drum does have. So I can look at it and say, wow, my analysis is if we don't handle this situation now, we are all going to get to deal with much more of this. That unfortunately, whatever I feel about the people of East Palestine, they are American citizens. They are citizens of Ohio. If we just let them deal with this on their own, if we let Norfolk Southern do this to them, then they're going to do it to us. And but still, what is my focus, right? Stop Norfolk Southern doing what they're doing to American citizens, because my stake is with the citizens, right? My buy-in is the working class, and that's how that classism gets you. That's the thing that Nick is missing. It seems like we have the same enemy, sort of, but Nick is not arguing on behalf of the people of East Palestine. Nick is arguing against Norfolk Southern, and he's missing the point. And it's gonna get him. I mean, it's gotten him already. Opinion is turning against him, and his new numbers are slowing. And I don't think that he has. I mean, he's relatable, right? He's relatable. He's not disgusting to look at. He manages to throw a decent under-the-desk news vibe. So will he turn into something outside of the Norfolk Southern disaster in East Palestine? Probably. But a lot of people are learning not to trust him very quick. And I hope people continue to pay attention, as now people are getting evacuated from East Palestine, and they are starting to explore options of not letting kids go to school in East Palestine. And DeWine is being wishy-washy on whether or not he's going to declare a state of emergency in East Palestine. Like I've said and said and said, why should people keep talking to me about this? And why should they keep talking to Meta Swirls in the comments? And, Ingus Maximus, who is not in here or maybe just popped in, or Zombie Tesla, why keep talking to us? Why keep sticking with us? Because unfortunately, what we can see that other people who are occluded is that this story is going to continue to unfold, and we are going to continue to be vindicated, and what we have said is going to continue to be reinforced, and you are going to see little by little that this has been as bad all along as the most doom and gloom early projections, and people just really have not understood what cover-up looks like. They got all excited about exposing a cover-up for a little while, and I told people as soon as the mainstream media actually acknowledged it, that was where the real cover-up was going to start. And here we are, weeks out from experts telling people dioxins, telling people vinyl chloride, and that's not penetrating at all. And the people that we trusted, the rogues, the mavericks, BT dub, nobody's hitting that like button. Come on. I know y'all can't spam like in TikTok, but light up that little thumb. You guys know I like seeing the like button pressed. It warms my little rowdy abolitionist heart. So anyway, yeah, we're seeing now. Here we are, vindicating couple of days for the people advocating, get the people of Norfolk Southern out, because now that is starting to happen. And now we have this dude that's still going live, making fun of people in East Palestine, and now taking credit for getting them out of there. Well, we have receipts, Bubba. Show us where you told us to get the people of East Palestine out. Show us where you ever said evacuate East Palestine on Norfolk Southern's dime, and then I'll listen to you. But I am comfortable in my receipts to that effect. I have no insecurity about that. I know that I can. Right. And gaslit by Nick. And I made a take. I'm gonna post it, but I don't want to hear from him. Yeah, what'd they say? Cliff's notes, Adam. Hit me with the little. Why did the like go away? Who unliked the live? Does it let you guys re-like it? Do you not have to just hit it one time? Can you spam like it? Yeah, what's the acrolein situation, Adam? I expect that, and I've been pretty decent at this so far. I expect that. I expect that Texas A&M will I expect that Norfolk Southern will play up the acrolein. I don't know much about it. I would have to know. There's a thumb button, Meta. So I would have to know more about acrolein, but my guess is, based on the way that Texas A&M did not come out flipping out about it, I would anticipate you will start to see more attention paid to the acrolein, because Norfolk Southern would like people to pay more attention to the acrolein than the butyl acrylate and the vinyl chloride and the dioxins. So if that's the case, that will be interesting to watch. If you see the acrolein start to get repeated more, and it starts to look convenient, you're fine, and it starts to look convenient for Norfolk Southern to talk about the acrolein, then you're going to have to start wondering about the trustworthiness of Texas A&M as a source, unfortunately. Like, people just really aren't understanding what, $51 billion, 200-year-old company can actually leverage. But again, my suspicion is you're going to start hearing the acrolein talked about more than vinyl chloride and butyl acrylate, because I'm betting acrolein is not as terrifying as butyl acrylate and vinyl. Butyl acrylate is not that terrifying, and theoretically in the air, butyl acrylate is not supposed to be dangerous. Its half-life is supposed to be short, although I hear people saying that there is still butyl acrylate found in Leslie Run. I will have to double check that. But I think the vinyl chloride and the dioxins are what Norfolk Southern and their lapdog, the EPA, very much do not want to talk about. And so I would look forward to hearing more about acrolein, because acrolein is much less, at least doesn't have the same nasty profile in everybody's awareness that vinyl chloride has suddenly gotten and that dioxins have had for many years and are rising again to prominence. That's my suspicion. And will people like me continue to be relevant through all this? You betcha. Why? Because our target is correct. Get those people out of there. Even if all of this turns out to be harmless, they now can't move. They are stuck where they are at the behest of corporations that have done this to them. Even if the ground is clean, even if the water is clean, even if the air is clean, they don't have, and we're not hearing much about soil testing except from Bob Bocock. But remember, even if we turn out to be wrong about all the chemicals, well, no, we didn't, because we are just repeating expert sources on the ground. And even if they turn out to be wrong about all of the chemicals, the net effect of this crash, even if it doesn't have a single medical effect, which the symptoms are mounting, it's becoming impossible to ignore. Like the tidal wave of symptoms in East Palestine is starting to actually be reported in the mainstream now. But even if somehow all of that turns out to be nonsense, you still have people who cannot get out of their houses. You know what I mean? They can't get out of their rents. They can't get out of their mortgages. They are just stuck there one way or another because this thing has happened to them. Norfolk Southern has done a thing to them that they're not going to be able to escape unless Norfolk Southern gets them out. So you're gonna, regardless of the disposition of all of the chemicals, my suspicion is you're gonna find a lot of people want to leave East Palestine regardless, because the shadow that is cast on this community is going to last for generations. You know, tornado in Xenia, anybody? But unfortunately, I don't think it's just going to be about optics. You know, we don't have any good reason to believe anymore that it's going to be just about optics. There are things that are making people sick there, and they need to be gotten out. And people that are saying anything different, disgusting clout chasers, and I really wish everybody would learn to ignore them. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out for this rant, but I think I might be able to go hang out with baby mama for a few minutes, and my Instapot just beeped and I need to go eat lunch. I feel bad because I made that Instapot of lentils and now it beeped, and I feel like I should stick around long enough to taste the lentils and give you guys a thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah, I can. If you make that content, I'll stitch it. Try to remember this, and I gotta say this to Zombie Tesla. And I know you don't make face content; you make content with your dog. But if you remember, if you make content with words on the screen, that is easy stuff for me to stitch. And I'm aware of the size of my platform relative to many other people that are talking about this. So an easy way, you just saw I did it to Zombie Tesla twice this morning. It's like, man, if you give me something that I can soundbite, that I can stitch easily, I will not hesitate to yoink it and promote what you're saying, you know, with my own thing. Prompts are really great for me. So if you make stuff where there's words on the screen, I can stitch easily, or I can duet it, or I can whatever, so we can use the size of we can leverage the size of my platform for your guys' platforms. You know what I mean? That's a way that we can workshop and crowdsource or whatever. So if you have some detail that makes a nice little cogent paragraph, like you just said, that's, you know, you can make that and put that on screen and put some fucking viral sound with it, you know, and that's an easy thing for me to either just duet and point at or stitch or whatever. Am I banned from? Well, hello, V. I am banned from live. I'm banned from live on both of them, and I'm not going to be making takes on my main account until that account warning goes away, which is going to take a while. So I'm kind of hamstrung over there because they're just itching to hit me with the permanent ban. So I'm trying to build this platform over here, which I've needed to do for a long time. So it's good. This is a more legitimate platform, believe it or not. This is a more stable, more easily monetizable platform. and it's, more respect. It's weirdly more respectable. It has a better relationship with its creators, and YouTube has been around for a lot longer than TikTok. So I started doing this months ago. I need to get back on it, and I have exploded my YouTube following in the past couple of weeks, and I'm just going to continue to do that, and it will start to matter less and less, my dependency on TikTok, which already feels pretty good. Like, I understand that we're not over here with hundreds of people in here like we are typically on TikTok, but not all the time. Like, I talk to small groups of people in my lives on TikTok. But they only tested the air, correct, Adam? So I'm trying to have a good attitude about it, because it actually is pretty legit to be like, I'm over here on YouTube now and not on TikTok. It does feel not lame. And I will talk about that more. So Adam, this is an article that analyzes the Texas A&M findings. Interesting. Oh, but just to clarify, this is not the Texas A&M findings you're talking about. You're talking about somebody else unpacking the Texas A&M air quality findings. Is that what you said? That you read an article about that? Just so I know that I don't accidentally talk out my ass if I happen to repeat that. That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, whatever is going on, I hope I don't have to make some big mea culpa about vinyl chloride, but I won't, because if I do, I will just have to say, yeah. Oh, okay. Word. All right. That's helpful. Thank you. Okay, guys. I am for real going to go try these lentils for lunch now and go hang out with baby mama for a few minutes on her day off. Thank you guys for being around. I will make this public shortly after I get off, so all of these can be found later. I don't think I will be, but if that happens, again, that is the nice thing about having just been like, these experts over here are saying it. But yes, thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you out there.